Just to be sure you are aware, this is the RTSystem 2730, the Mac version. It's a Java app, so there's pros and cons to that, I guess. But anyways, if you're interested in buying it, you have to pay for each version, for each radio. So if I wanted just the 2730, a Mac and a Windows version, then I have to buy two apps, one for the Mac, one for the Windows. And I believe, because I know I have my older USB cables that I use with the ICOM 92 and 880 and so forth. Windows no longer support it, and neither does the Mac support that one. So that's the only reason why I picked up this unit, because I needed the cable. And locally, it was way cheaper than to order it online, so I grabbed it. So just to let you know, you'll get an envelope. It's about the size of a CD envelope, where a serial will be in there, but no software, no CD. You have to go online, enter the your call sign, email, so forth. Basically an account, I guess, and you select either Mac or Windows version, enter the serial number first, and then you can make that selection and download it. So it'd be no surprise as long as you understand that. Okay, I happened to scan all the information that was in the envelope, including the serial number, so I don't lose it. Okay, let's quit that. Oh, let me quit that too. Hold on. There we go. Okay. As I mentioned, the IC2730 programmer is a Java app. It's not like Xcode, which explains some of the quirkiness that I noticed, or I guess you can say it's more kind of a window interface more than a Mac interface, but it's unimportant, but it's good to be aware of it. Okay, when you first fire up, I think you have to create a called new, and when you create new, you'll get this window sending up. And you can open an existing file that you saved with the IC27 programmer. I would show you that. You have the external data, such as the repeater book. I don't have the account for the others, but if I want Canada and Alberta and select the meters I want, hit OK, and I guess still working, is it? There you go. All the necessary information is put in there, and if you like it, you can select all and apply. Bango. There you go. The only thing you have to do is put in your banks. Okay, let me just close this again. Nope, don't want to save it. Hit new again. Now, I want to show you something about the repeater book. It has all the provinces in Canada, and by the looks of it, a whole bunch of different countries. It looks like there's over 100. I'm assuming US is in there. Yeah. Just slowing down a little bit. Did I miss? Oh yes, they're on top. It's on alphabetic order. Okay. However, there is one thing that's not working in Canada, and it's called a county. None of these counties belong in Alberta. So obviously, in this particular software, this would have to get updated. They would have to put in the counties that exist, for example, in Alberta, or at least it should be dimmed out so people would think that, oh, wait a minute, I don't know where this county is, and it doesn't do anything. So keep that in mind. Okay. and close. Now you have save, which will save it into a format specific for the IC2730 programmer, the RTSystem, save as. You can import your CSV file or export your CSV file, and you can hit, let's say you want to print out all your memories. Again, this is not a Mac-like. If you want to print to a file, you select that, all or without pages, and then you can change the borders, letter size, typical, and appearance if you want to go one side. Whatever settings you do, you have to redo it every time. It doesn't seem to save. But then you probably won't be printing out that often, so it's not a big thing. Okay. And let's try something here. Okay, first of all, edit. If you select a field like this, you can hit copy, you can hit paste. Okay. You can, for example, move it up, or you can insert a channel. So that's good. Copying this way, I don't think works. I think it's supposed to, but for some reason, it only copies horizontally. There was one time I did that with the bank, and the actual bank changed, but I believe it was another reason why that one time worked, which I'll explain later on. Okay, now what else we have here? So that works pretty good. Let me just clear this. Just to there you go. That works. Get data. Yes. Okay. I have the ICOM IC2730 beside me, hooked up with the cable. It takes several seconds before it starts reading and importing it. Clone out, it says. And this is what I have already programmed in the radio, using my program, of course, and also the CS2730, the ICOM. There you go. This is where it's weird. I don't know what the cause of this, but it's, you know, for some reason it breaks up the banks. However, when I write to the radio, no problem, it's in the right order. This was very similar to the ICOM IC2730 when you're looking at the 0 to 99 and 100 to 199. This would happen, but not all the time. So, like, this is incorrect, and you can't seem to correct it either. Because when I try to do that, doing copy and paste and so forth, I end up having less channels. So somehow I deleted some of the channels in the copy and paste. Now, this usually happens when I'm importing all of the memories. This particular software, when you have, we'll say 20, 30 channels of memories, and you want to save it, export it, it will export the channels that you have and add to it until there's a total of 100. It'll be all blank 0. I'll show you that too. It seems like it doesn't want to work properly unless you have that, but there's a workaround. with that. Let me export this, and I perhaps can demonstrate it. Tests. That's nothing. I can't navigate the same way. So, and it's showing invisible files. Yeah. Figure I'll show you that type of navigation. It's very, very clumsy. I got to keep hitting it. There. Took me a while to get into desktop. Again, it's showing invisible files, and yet it says only CSV files. Okay, we're going to say tests. It's kind of on Mac-like, but anyways. Okay. Let me close all this other files here. Let's try this again. Boy. Okay. First thing I notice, right up here on top, where the field names are, location is missing. Okay, so I fix it by putting it in. Now, most of my channels are filled, or banks, I should say. There you go. This is, I have a couple towards the end. See how it puts those extra lines in there? A bit weird. There's workaround. That's the main thing, but I thought I mentioned that. And another problem, it uses a completely different set of formats. So this particular file you cannot import into the ICOMS CS2730. It just will not work. In my case, it was no problem. My database handles both formats, and I can switch from one to the other. So there's a solution around it, but it is one extra step. So it's good to remember that. If you're wondering, okay, I can't seem to import my CS2730 ICOM software, you're not making a mistake. They have changed, altered the format. It would be nice if they gave you the option to save it as their format. But when you use export, it should be exactly the same way as the CS2730 is expecting. So to me, that can be troublesome for some people who may not be too familiar with CSV files and how it all works. They'd be scratching their heads, and they probably throw out of the window in frustration. So that's something should be corrected, I would think. Okay, let's go back. So that's a problem. Okay, let me show you something else. No, I'm going to import a file. Oops, I got to hit new first. If you don't hit new, the import will not work. And I'm going to import oops, wrong ones. Let me see. Yes, it doesn't like, this is an alias folder. It doesn't like it. I have to keep clicking on to eventually get it. Okay. This is my program. It exported it using the RTSystem. So I hit import. This is how it looks. Interesting. If I don't include the extra blanks for the empty memories, you get this type of issue, this comment. You got 2 comments, which is incorrect. Normally, you would define previous, and this would be channel number. Okay, finish. Select all, apply, close. Another quirk. My file had banks A set up. For some reason, this program fails to recognize bank A and B. So every file I open from now on will go to D, E, F, G, H, I, and then repeat. My last file will be an A again, where it should be another one. So it's a bug. Again, it could be fixed. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Now you have a setting called banks. This should be home, because that's what I called it. And let's say this is Alberta 1, Alberta 2, BC 1, whatever. There you go. It does fill in automatically, but it will not change the bank. So physically, I have to go in, I guess. Now, if I export this, the whole problem will repeat again. So the solution is to hit save, and it will be saved in the IC2730 programmer, the RTSystem, which I have already accomplished already. Come on. Yeah, this Java app. So I'm going to hit the word open, and let's go here. There you go. And I'm going to say open again. Okay. So I had to do physically correct all this. Let's say I want to change home. This does work, I believe. I'm going to say test. Let's say that's what I want to call it. There you go. So that's nice. So it has to fix A and B. For some reason, I mean, I exported, even used their own file system, and it keeps replacing it with a C, and then the next one D, E, F. So it's completely off. It's a quirk. It's fixable. You just save it, not as a CSV file, but one of their formats, like I did with this one, and I keep it. So if I want to open every one, I can do that. C's next, I think. Yeah. So if I want to make some small changes, it's easy to do edit, copy, insert. I could insert, for example, another channel in here. Okay. So you're not going crazy if you think you're doing something wrong. Now again, this is the Mac version. I don't know if that problem exists on Windows. I'm not sure what type of software or programming software they're using, but I know this is a Java app, and it's known for weirdness, I think. Anyways, let's go to radio menu settings. This is nice. Very easy to make changes. I don't use channel ID. I like to see frequencies myself. I don't use the alerts because I don't want to hear the ka-chunks that occur every so often. And then you have DTMF and Bluetooth. I don't have Bluetooth. I don't see a need of it yet because I don't intend to use a headphone. If it supported some other option, I may look into it, but I'm not aware of any. Okay. No, I don't want to change settings. And then the bank names and linking is, I kind of showed you how you can change a whole bank, but it will not change the proper bank number, even though there's A beside it. Okay. And program scanning. I have not figured this out yet. I know how it works on the IC2730, but I believe 1 and 2, I thought it was 0 and 1, but I could be wrong, were the default scan that comes with the radio when it's new. And then you can add a whole bunch more, which I did on the CS2730, the ICOM. And my radio is set up for it, but for some reason it doesn't show up here. So I don't know if it's something I'm not aware of. It should be identical to what my radio has. Okay, so that's another thing. Preferences, basically it's split frequency, offset frequencies, default. So 5 and 600 kilohertz. Planning to update. Okay. Check for updates. Let's see if there's an update. All files are up to date. So adjust sending speed. I use normal. I don't have to select serial port. It all happened automatically on the Mac. And then I can send data. I've tested this. It works fine. No problem. Okay, this is a quick what if I want to save all of my stuff that I have broken up in 10 groups into one? Not a problem. Hit new, and I'll go here, select all, do a copy, go to new, I'll select both of them just to be sure it pastes. Then I go to B, which has 100 channels or memories, copy. There you go. So this way the banks are correct and the order that I want it is correct. So I do that 10 times and then I can write this to the radio. I kind of don't have the confidence to do so. In fact, maybe I should do it. Group, so I have to open the rest. Hold on. I got A, B, and C, so I want D. I don't think it supports select all, does it? No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's see what happens if I do a select all. Okay, looks good. File open. I need an E. Select all. Command A. And I'll go to Untitled here. Hit paste. And I go File open. And that was an E, so I want an F bank. Select all. Copy. So down to 473. Open again, and I want the G bank. Select all, copy. Let's find out how well it works. And we go to open again, and we want H. 2 more after this. Copy. Down to 604. Open. And I need an iBank, right? Let's go to iBank. Sometimes when I double click, it doesn't want to work. Okay. Copy. Okay, one more. 685. 5. Open. JBank. Come on. Just double clicking doesn't like. Okay. Select all, copy. And paste. Okay, let's see what it looks like. A bank, B, C, D, F, H, I. Looks good. And then whatever radio settings I have, I can change it right now. Let's do a write. Send data. Okay. It's communicating. There you go. Clone in, the radio says. Okay. Okay. And it says end, so I got to power off. And I got power on. Okay. Now, let me hit new, and I'm going to import. It takes about 5-10 seconds. Clone out. That's interesting. This bank is missing. This one's missing. Okay, that's twice. 3 or 4. I tried all different combinations. Doesn't matter. Okay, this time is not as bad. The first time I imported, it was a total mess. And I have kind of verified that as far as the radio is concerned, it's okay. It's just that for some reason, it fails to properly refresh or write some of the things. And it probably has something to do with the fact it fails to recognize bank A and B. And then we'll start off with C, bank. Now, if you notice, none of my bank names are there. So to fix that, I would have to go to bank name and type in all the banks that I want. I happen to know it by heart, so 2. Normally I use the alphabet A to G, H to Z, but this is for testing is good enough. 2. British Columbia has 4 banks used. Oops, I said 3. Okay, let's try this again. 4. And Yukon, I believe, is what I have on my normal one. And then GMRFRS, you're limited to 6 characters, and commercial. There you go. So it will fix this, but it doesn't fix this at all. So I believe when I was testing it, I even uploaded from the ICOM software 2730 and had it show up here. Actually, it was even more messier. So I don't know. Don't know the reason for it yet. I haven't played with it that much more. I figured some of the issues. Once you know what the quirks are, there's usually a workaround. So that's basically the RTSystem IC2730 programmer for the Mac version. Again, it's a Java app. It's not a Xcode app or anything like that. I also want to repeat one more thing. And so I got to power off, and I got power on. Okay. When I hold the main button for 2 seconds, nothing happens. Okay, you have to hit, when you're in VFO mode, you have to hit memory once. Then you hold the main bank, and when the light starts flashing, then you can switch banks. Okay, I did an update, and I did not have the banks in there. So names are missing. And if I hold the VFO scan button long enough, then you have the all the bands, mode, tone. Okay, I guess I have the programming banks missing because it erased it. So no problem. I'll just plug into the CS2730 ICOM software, fix it in a second. So those are the things you're gonna be facing. I fired up my MacBook Pro Intel version with Windows 10, and I opened the software CS2730 by ICOM, and my last file that I used is still there. So all I have to do is clone this again. Clone right. And I say, okay. Oops. It does read and write quicker. And I have to do a restart. And this time, I should see these options, which I will show. I am in VFO mode. You go to memory mode, then hold the bank button for 2 seconds. You see the lights flashing, then you can switch. And if you want to scan the other ones, you got to hit the scan button, hold it for a second, and you have all the B-Link, home, my banks are there, Yukon, and you can scan using dupe and tones. Okay, there you go. Okay, I think that pretty well covers it. If you have an idea, if you think the RTSystem Mac version will work for you, or if you have access to Windows, the CS by ICOM, or even RTSystem. So if anyone has the Windows version, now that you have an idea how it looks on the Mac, can you let me know if it's the same thing or operates totally different? I'm assuming it'll be different for each radio. So if you were to show me with let's say the ID52. It's a much better format, so it may work much better on the Mac too if I had the ID52 version. I don't know. I certainly don't need it with my setup. Icon provides it, plus my own program creates it, and because it has a SD card, I don't have to use no cabling or any other connection. Okay, please subscribe if you haven't. It would be appreciated. Thumbs up if it's of interest. Take care. Until next time.